comment, rate, subscribe. Merch in the description. Check out our Facebook pages. We got marketplaces you can buy and sell stuff on.
Android 21 scheme, Hatchhyack deck. So just need to put a little audio in the background for myself because it gets boring waiting for people. Let me speed up this a little bit. Somebody should be popping up. The duel didn't last that long. Oh man. So my first opponent was a Finn deck. The second person I got to play, trying to download and install Twitch so I could do some Twitch streaming. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Pause for a second. Alright. So I go up against the Finn deck. Yeah, something I want to say about my gameplay videos. I label them gameplay because that's what people call them. People be asking for gameplays because they want to see the deck in action. But really, these videos are tutorials, right? They're to show you, the basics of playing my decks. Which is why I do the commentary, where I explain certain concepts and ideas and mention, certain key card interactions. As you can see in this duel, you're seeing that I am planning to awaken, so you're gonna see me charge 3 black energy in my first opening hand. You also notice that I mulliganed. I negate the first attack because I can always get that back, so it's always worth it to stop attack. The goal is to always stop attacks. You notice when you look at my hand, like, damn, no combo power. Yeah, but also notice I took no damage. Moving on, leader effect. This is part of why, I don't have a problem not having a lot of cards with combo power in my deck, because I don't use combo a lot. So that goes on to the leader. I also drop and I draw. Drawing a lot of cards that have no combo. Literally no combo power in my hand. Look at that. No combo power. And this is the kind of stuff people will complain about. This is the kind of stuff people will be like, oh no, this is terrible. This is a bad deck, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, bad for you. Not bad for me. If it was bad for me, I wouldn't have so many cards that don't have combo power. I would put more cards that have combo power. Anybody who knows me personally knows that I definitely love the 1 energy negate battle cards because they do have combo power. It's better to use them than negates. But the game is shifting. A lot of decks, a lot of archetypes. Like Bandai's been making a lot of free cards and a lot of things that come out easily. Now, it's not enough to have a negate that stops just 1 attack. You gotta have a negate that does more than that. So a battle card that negates 1 attack for 1 energy is not as good in 2021 than it used to be. So even though, yes, a battle card with the ability to negate an attack does have combo power, except for the Goku that comes, that's black, has no combo power. Irony, right? Since it has no combo power, why use it, right? So that's why I don't have it in the build anymore. I don't use it in Hatchhyack unless I need the fact that it's Goku Zeno. Then I'll use the 1-drop Goku. But it's like, yeah, you're essentially an extra card because you have no combo power, right? And all you do is negate 1 attack. He has other uses, yes, but technically that's all he is. He's essentially a battle card, extra card. So for those who want combo power, and I want combo power too for defense purposes, at times, not all the time, but at times, then I'm going to go with like, well, I'd just rather use a negate, right? Now what's ironic is that I don't remember if I change this build, because I'm looking at that Kaioken Goku card, I'm like, that Kamehameha, that max power Kamehameha. I'm like, was that in the build? I made so many different Hatchhyack deck recently that I'm like, wait, was that in the build? So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't want that in the build. Just because it's like, I noticed I have the 10 times Kamehameha and the power of the people, which is currently the only negates I'm actually using. So that's why to see max power, I'm like, wait, was max power in the build? Or was it previously in the build, but I took it out and, you know, and changed it and then uploaded the deck profile without it. Like, I'm having trouble remembering that. Obviously, if I go check, that'd be a thing. Yeah, this duel doesn't last that long, so you won't get to see the outcome of this match. And oh my god, the next match, I wasn't recording. I have a screenshot of the end result, or you know what happened at the end result. But oh man, I did not have the duel recorded, and it was a good duel too. It was against the new Raditz promo leader, and you know the fact that it warps cards from your hand. Like, I really hate that I didn't have that video. That was a good video. That was a good tutorial. That was a good showing of the deck, especially dealing with that leader. You know, because it was hand control. It's like, yes, hand control can be a problem for Hatchhyack. More than blue will ever be. Some people do still talk about that. They struggle against blue decks. And it's like, oh, okay. Y'all struggle. Hatchhyack struggles with blue, apparently. I don't know that personally myself, because I don't struggle against blue, period, but I definitely don't struggle against blue with Hatchhyack. So my opponent had to go and say, oh, that sucks. You know, we were doing so good, but then, so as you can see here in the last footage, you saw that I still had 8 life, right? In this footage, right, you see I currently have 5 energy. So clearly I was charging an energy a turn for 5 turns. Notice that I still have 7 life. Notice that turn 5, I still have 7 life, right? So that's a thing. And a lot of my plays are obviously negates. My opponent mainly attacked with his leader more. When he finally did get a battle card, it was the Nappa, the red and green Nappa that can attack twice and it's double strike and stuff like that. So that was the thing. And then what else he had? He finally played the Raditz Unison, which was cool. I wish you could see his border. I wish he didn't. Well, one, I wish we finished the match. Like because the reason. Well, one, I wish I was recording the match. That's the real issue, is that I wasn't recording, and I thought I was. That was the problem. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So waste of time. I mean, it was fun. Like, I enjoyed playing the game, of course, and got some play testing for the deck, right? So I can say, yes, this deck was played. I played this deck, but damn, it wasn't recorded. You know what they say, man. If it wasn't recorded, it didn't happen, right? So the best I was able to do was get this screenshot. Because it shows at least my board. I wish you could see what their board looked like. And they had 2 life, by the way, at this point. And they're trying to come at me. As you can see, I got 1 negate, 1 instant 10 times 1 instant transmission 10 times Kamehameha in my hand, and I got 1 energy up, so I can obviously negate 1 attack. I'll use my Unison. So on the Facebook group, I asked about the Unison, about how it works, because that's the issue that came up in this match, about how the card works. And he had 5 energy, right? So I have 5 energy, he has 5 energy, and he had 2 4 drops. Jesus. I did read the card, but I forgot. Well, he definitely took advantage of me. Anyway, okay, so he had this really cool 3-drop Radis card that lets him bring out 2 level 4 battle cards from his drop. One was the, like I said, the Nappa that had was 20k, double strike, dual attack, deflect. I think it was. It's the Nappa cannon thing. Anyway, so it was him, and he had a 4-drop. I don't think it was 30k. Probably was 25k. Anyway, it was a 4-drop Yugioh with triple strike. Right now, the Radis that brings them out, I did read it, and it was like it brings both of them out from the deck. Is what they brought them out from. Brought them out from the deck, and the way you trigger it is by your opponent warping a card. So he attacked with his leader, and made me warp a card from my hand, and then he brought these 2 cards out. And then he proceeded to attack with the give me a second, with the Nappa. And he was like double strike, and I thought he attacked my leader, so I took the damage. Right? But then he was like, no, I'm attacking Unison. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. Whoops. And I put the cards back, shuffled my life. And so I technically should have been at 5, right? If he actually attacked my leader. But he was attacking my Unison. It was my 2-drop Black Bardic, SS4 Bardic, the one where you +1 to draw. And then it has the -2 where your opponent can't attack the battle cards unless they discard a card. So that 2-drop one. Now I dropped that on turn 2, and I had that for a while. I actually had 2 of them. I got to 5 markers with the first one, right? Then I replaced it, after I attacked with it, I replaced it with another one, then plus that one, and drew a card and swung with that, and that's how I was able to get my opponent down to 2 life. And then I think that was a turn. That was a turn earlier. I think that was on turn 4. Turn 2, obviously, I played one. On turn 4 is when I played the second one, and then now I'm on turn 5. So on turn 5, I play Pan with 4 markers, -2, so she still has 2 left. And then I forgot, I was like, oh, she's 10k. I could have swung with her, but I have nothing I can count on my hand right now. So like that would have been a pointless attack because my opponent's leader was awakened, obviously. So I was like, all right, it would have been a waste of an attack. There's nothing I can attack with 10k power. So I got 1 energy, I got her, and the idea was this, for him not to be able to attack with his battle cards, but unless they're higher than his energy. That's how I read the effect of the card. Let's see if it's nope, I don't have it here. The effect of the pan, but apparently that's not how it works. Still trying to confirm 100% how her effect works, but my assumption was that it was to make it where only battle cards with high energy cost are the only ones that can attack, and only one of them can attack. Not that all the your opponent's battle cards can still attack. It's just that one of their high cost battle cards can only attack once. So that kind of stuff. Which, if you think about it, barely does anything, because if they have one battle card that's the highest cost, that's higher than their energy, and the rest are not higher than their energy, then if you think about it, this does nothing at all. They're only going to attack once with all their battle cards anyway, unless they have dual attack or something. I mean, granted, I'm playing Hatchhyack, therefore they're not going to get that many attacks, but that's a little besides the point. But going back though, however, was the fact that my opponent was like that his Nappa had double strike, but actually the Radis says that both battle cards that he brings out, their effects their skills are negated for the rest of the game, not for the rest of the turn, for the game. But the turn he brought him out was the turn he attacked, and he was claiming there were double strikes, so that was an issue. Just the realization now, like, wait, whoa, Kane, you ain't have double strike. You don't even have dual attack. Not only did you not have double strike, you didn't even have dual attack, so you couldn't attack twice with the Nappa. But he did, and we played it as if it had his skills. I'm double checking in my mind. I think it specifically states their keyword skills. I have to look at the Raditz card later. So I'm working on a deck. So like I think it was negate their keyword skills or just negate all their skills for the game. One of the two. But the point is, if it did negate keyword skills, then that negates double strike, obviously. Deflect on top of that, right? And negates the dual attack. So it's just a 20k single attacker. Along with the Vegeta that's triple strike will lose its triple strike, right? So it's just a 20k single damage. So you essentially got technically two 20k skillless battle cards, and he can only attack with one, right? By Hatchhyack's ability, right? Therefore, you know, I have the advantage, right? Because when I have one negate at least, and there's not much he can do. So either way, I'm still in a good position. But it's the fact that he was playing as if he had the effects. That was the issue, because he's the one who said that he had double strike. He said it. I wish I could. Yeah, this doesn't show. See, if I was recording the match, I would be able to play it back and be able to show exactly when he said that the card has double strike, and I'm supposed to lose, you know, 2 markers, which is how I lost my I lost him. Like I said, when I played the second Bardock and I did the +1 ability so I could draw, it had 3 markers, right? And I swung with it. On his turn, he did that little play and then he attacked it. Said he had double strike, so I lost 2 markers. Then he restood and attacked again. Claimed, you know, acting like he has dual attack. And since he's dual attack 20k with double strike, right? Supposedly, he killed my Unison with the Nappa. When in reality, shouldn't, because the Raditz that brought it out actually is taking away their skills. At least their keyword skills or all their skills. I can't remember which one it was exactly, but I know is that their skills was negated for the turn, well, negated for the game, because it literally said game, not just turn, game. So think about it now, like, oh shit, it didn't have double strike. It didn't have dual attack. Because that's the first time I seen that card, so it's like, you know, I looked at it, skimmed the effect real quick, and I got the basic idea of what the card does. I'm like, because I was looking away, because I got like a notification from Facebook, so somebody commented on one of my posts, obviously, and when I look back, I see 2 level 4 monsters, and he only had 2 energies tapped on his side of the field. I'm like, wait, how did you get 2 4-drops on the field? I'm looking at the card, I'm like, none of these have a rival or anything. Like, what happened? I just negated your leader attack, and suddenly you have 2 level 4-drops. So that right there looked like he was cheating, right? That looked suspect. But then I'm like, wait, what happened to that Raditz he had on the field? So I looked in his drop and I found the Raditz and I read it, and that's how I saw that it can bring them out and their skills are supposed to be negated for the rest of the game and all that stuff, which makes sense because that's way too powerful. Bring out 2 level 4s, and as powerful as those level 4s was, you got a 20k double strike with dual attack, and I think that one was 20k triple strike. So it's like, damn, that right there is essentially 7 damage off of a 3-drop. Yeah, I understand. This was a 3-drop Raditz he brought out earlier. So, so he's doing this on turn 5. He's bringing out these 2 things, right? So he's tapped out. Well, not tapped out, but he tapped 2 of his energies are tapped, and 3 of his energies are not tapped on that turn. So, like I said, I wish I could show you. I wish I had a record, because that was a good duel. How I was dealing with his leaders, you know, hand warping, and some of the other effects he had. He had some other hand warping abilities, so he was really attacking my hand. But thanks to good old 2-drop 15k Bardock SS4 Bardock resonance or something like that, Unison, I was plussing. I was awake, right? As you can see, my leader is awake, right? You know, I awakened the leader and I'm swinging with it, getting the plus from the leader, getting the plus from the Unison. So I was able to mitigate. The thing is, just I want to say that it seems a little funny that some people are confused about is the idea of like not awakening. It's like, that's a strategy. You can choose to charge, you know, blue energy as soon as turn 1, and yes, foregone your awaken, you know, give up the ability to awaken, you know, by doing that. Now, what will be cool later on in the near future, we might have, like, there might be some abilities that will let us, like, bounce energy back to our hands, so that you can charge blue, play your blue stuff, like the blue unison and stuff like that, and then later on bounce and replace them, like bounce a blue energy to your hand and then play a black energy, and then slowly change your blue to black and then awaken. Granted, you know, like that way you can still like awaken later, like kind of thing. Another possibility, right, would be like effects that will let you send energy to trigger an effect, like send one energy to the drop to gain double strike or something. Then that'll be a way you can get rid of your blue energy, right? That way you end up with black energy and then awaken. So like that'd be kind of cool later on. We'll see what the future holds, but the thing is that I always try to think of the future, like the possibilities. But the main thing I'm trying to get to is you can choose what you want to do. If you like to awaken, you want the leader awaken and get all the benefits of the leader being awakened, go ahead. It just means the blue cards you're going to have to wait later. You're going to have to wait after turn 3 to start using them. I have no problem doing that, and that's part of the video, was to show that. Like, I'll go back to the first, you know, bit of footage. Skips a couple steps, you know. You see, I start charging them black, right? And I have no problem charging black. Look, charging black. First 3 turns, man, charging black, negating stuff, charging black, right? Dropping, awakening, like that's not a problem. No one says you can't do it. It's just that if strategically, if you wanna play this field, you know, you see I have the scheme in my hand, which would be very useful to get it out sooner than later, right? You can start charging blue right off the bat and get this out as soon as turn 4. Obviously, I would like to have some type of way of ramping and play it sooner than later. Obviously, if we still had objection in the game, we could get this out as soon as turn 3, you know, the good old days, right? But we don't have access to that. We don't have the ability to ramp to play this out sooner than later and try to take advantage of that. So, you know, we will charge 3, black, awaken, and then turn 4, you know, start charging. Oh, damn, the game was over before I even charged the first blue. But in the next game, you see I did end up at least getting up to 2 blue, you know. So one more turn. I was gonna put, depending on my what I drew next, I was gonna put the field card into my energy and try to put out my rats. I will use Pan's ability again, -2, to get her off the board and get her effect, and then play the Raditz so that way I can have the ability to attack with a 19k plus the double blocking ability of Raditz plus the ability to draw off of Raditz. So like that was my line of play. I wasn't going to hold out for the field card since I was already doing good. My opponent was already at 2 life and I'm at 7, all that good stuff. So just trying to, you know, finish out. But apparently this unison effect was an issue. But then when I think about the fact that he didn't have double strike and dual attack and how that changes certain factors, because in reality I should still have my Bardock in play to still plus from it, or at least use his -2 ability, which would reduce his ability to attack by just making it where if he does attack he has to lose a card, and that would have been beneficial to make him discard, because you know he's been warping my hand. It would be nice to warp his hand. Plus the Bardock was helping me mitigate his leader's effect, you know, mitigate the whole me warping cards from my hands. Because you see I got like 9 cards in my warp, right? And that's largely from his effects. And I got 10 cards in my drop because that's I played a lot of cards. But you can see I'm still at 7 life though. You know what I mean? So I'm at 7 life though, so I definitely was putting in that work. And my opponent was at 2. Which you could still see his board, so you can see the board state in his life. But anyway, you get an idea that yes, you can awaken with this build. Yes, there's a lot of cards in the deck that don't have combo power, but they are negates, right? they do serve their job, which is to stop attacks, period. You know, if I had a whole bunch of 5Ks in my hands, I would be using 2 to 3 cards to stop an attack. Why? When for 1 energy, I can stop the attack. So 1 card per attack. So if my opponent attacks me 3 times, leader, unison, and the battle card, I'd rather use 3 cards to stop all 3 of those attacks instead of me trying to use 2 or 3 cards per each attack to try to out combo them, which is ridiculous. I shouldn't be wasting that many, you know, playable battle cards, right, to stop attacks when I could just play negates for all that. That's my logic behind it. That's why I play what I play. And as you can see, at least from this screenshot that I was able to get from that good game that I wish I had recorded, you can at least see that turn 5 and I still got 7 life, so and barely any combo power. Like most of my combo power, as you can see, is either in the warp or in my energy area. You know, I definitely was, if I could show you my drop, I should have done that. I should have recorded at least this part, you know, just recorded what's in my drop and warp and all that stuff and showcase that, so that we can at least see what got warped, what's in my drop. I could have done that at least. As you can see, I've got 21 cards left in my deck, so a lot happened. Most of the cards in my drop obviously was from my leaders, you know, awaken ability. You know, obviously I was charging. The cards in my drop was from me discarding from effects of my opponent making me discard stuff, as well as me playing, you know, a whole bunch of negates left and right. I used a lot of the Kamehameha negate. I got to use the Kamehameha, the full power, the max power Kamehameha active main ability to warp one of my opponent's battle cards. What did I get rid of it with that? Definitely wasn't the Raditz, because the Raditz had freaking barriers, so that was a problem. I was thinking like, man, I wish instead of having Pan, I wish I had a Zamasu, because a Zamasu play would have been way better right now, just because it would have cleared his board. You know, I would have been able to clear his board. Granted, I would be tapped out, but at least I would have cleared his board. So that way I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, the whole, you know, if my opponent can and can't attack and all this extra other hoopla that I had to deal with. But anyway, you get the idea. Well, hopefully you get the idea of, you know, how you could play it. It's up to you. Like I said, you can awaken. You know, do what you want. It's how you play is how you play. The thing is, you have the option. You can play the way you normally play to awaken, and then go, and then from there, you know, just start playing the blue stuff, and then, you know, have some fun, you know, with all of the variety that adding blue adds to the deck, or any color you add to the deck, or start off, you know, with the extra color in the deck and just play that way. You know what I mean? Since you're largely negating attacks left and right and blocking attacks left and right, the whole like, oh, I gotta have combo power, lots of combo power, like, that's okay. That's not necessary, especially if you're playing the deck right. But if you need more combo power, whatever, you do you. Modify the deck however way you see fit. If you want less unisons, do it. You want less negates, do it. It's up to you what you want to do. You know what I mean? When I say, you know, this is my such and such deck profile, it's because it's my deck. It's how I play, and I have no problem playing that way. No problem playing with no super combos, with a whole bunch of cards that don't have combo power. I have no problem doing that, because that's the way I play. I have no problem doing that. But if you have a problem not having a lot of combo power in your deck, in a deck, well, then just add it. You do you. That's a you thing. I don't play decks for you. I don't build decks for you. All these decks are my decks, and I build them for myself. I build them the way I play. I share with y'all, so that way y'all can see how I play. If you like it, cool. If you don't, well, I don't care, because it's for me. What matters is that I like my decks and that I play them whenever I have the time, of course. I tend to be busy doing different things, but whenever I get a chance to, you know, play, I play and I have fun and I do me. Another thing, might as well while I'm at it, point out the fact that I doubt anybody would be at this far of the video, but the idea that is like, damn, I lost train of thought. You can, damn, I really lost what I was gonna say. You know, I play. Oh yeah, I don't claim these decks to be competitive, right? Like I don't say that like this is my, you know, world Nats, you know, competitive deck, or this is my webcam. Like I don't say stuff like, oh, this is my best of 1 deck, you know, for competitive play, or this is my best of 3 deck, or anything. Like I don't flat out say that these decks are for the meta or this or that. Like I don't state what these decks are for, other than this is my deck. This is what I'm doing with it. These are my ideas for the deck. This is the synergy that I have with, you know, the cards. The reason why I have these cards on the deck, to get these outcomes, these results. I want these unique abilities. And then that's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that these, you know, this is the best deck in the format type stuff. Like I'm not saying none of that stuff. But for some reason, some people have this weird idea that's the case. That's when they see no super combos in the deck and they're like, why isn't there any? I'm like, because I don't use them. But everybody else does, so why don't you put them in? Because these are my decks. It don't make sense for me to put something in a deck that is mine. Like these are my decks. That means I design them and build them the way I play. And since I don't play super combos all the time, I do play sometimes, but not all the time. Of course, you're gonna see no super combos in some of my decks. You notice that I have got 2 God Sealing Trunks in my energy area because I don't play God Sealing Trunks like everyone else does. It's in the deck because, you know, somebody suggested it. It was a good idea. So I put it in for those who want, you know, God Sealing Trunks, you know, but I don't personally play God Sealing Trunks myself. So I didn't, you know, have a need to, you know, try to use it. I'm like, nah, just better charge this energy because I don't personally use it. Just like if I did have super combos in the deck, I would be charging them. Why? Because I don't really use them. I have very little need to use them. The way I play, they are useless. If I'm negating and blocking or taking hits, these are the 3 things I do. I either take the hit and don't waste time trying to out combo an attack, or I block it, or I negate it. So why do I need super combos when all those 3 things I mentioned does not involve me comboing? I said I don't combo, I just take the hit, or I negate it, or I block it. So where does super combos come in there? What use is a super combo in those 3 situations? Nothing. They don't serve me no purpose. If they serve you purpose because, you know, you like to use it to make things stronger, fine. But the thing is, I choose things that are strong already. I play 20Ks, 15Ks, 30Ks. On purpose, I don't have to combo. I'm not going to waste time with a 5K, 10K, unless it has like a really cool, you know, effect, and it's like it's there for a reason. Like maybe it's a 5K blocker. Well, I'm never going to attack with it. It's just a blocker, right? But if it's supposed to be an attacker, it's going to be 20K. That's why I got Raditz is a 19K unison. I got the what's his name? Goku, Deadly Defender Goku, that's a 20K on my turn, 15K on my opponent's turn, and Resmo, right? But it's a 20K on my turn, so you notice that my attacks are already pretty high. So when I swing, my opponent has to out-combo my attacks, not the other way around. I either take the hit, block the hit, or negate the hit. That's it. Why am I wasting time combo? So that's why me having a whole bunch of unison, and notice most of them have the ability to prevent a lot of attacks, or at least try to, right? Or they block. You know, I have what I call the defensive stance, which is pretty much cards that I can attack with, but I can also block with. Basically, vigilance, like from Magic. I can attack with it, but I can still block with it. Sword and shield. That's what that's what I talk about. So it's like Raditz can attack, let me draw a card, restand, and block twice. I don't need combo power when I'm literally blocking 2 attacks a turn with just Raditz alone, right? And I have Hatchhyack, so I'm not blocking that many attacks a turn. It'll be a leader, unison, maybe 1 battle card. Raditz can handle the leader and a unison as long as the unison is a 15K, right? The leader is definitely going to guarantee to be 15k at max, unless their leader like Hatchhyack gets a 5k boost and becomes 20k, then I have a problem, right? Then I have to worry, you know, I gotta start negating and worry about losing markers off of my Reddits. But typically most leaders and most unisons tend to be 15k, so Reddits is more than enough to deal with those two issues, as it were. All I have to do is worry about something that's 20k plus, like most battle cards are 20k plus, so I gotta, you know, deal with them, you know, negate them. But I could block the leader and the unison with Raditz alone. And I was literally one turn away from playing him. So, and I was going to apply pressure with him, apply pressure with the leader, and my opponent was at 2 life at this point. At 2 life at this point. And I'm still at 7. I actually had the intention that even if he could attack, which he, you know, wanted to say that he still can attack regardless of my effect, I had all the intentions of taking the hits. Because I have 7 life. I can easily take 3 hits and plus from it. Take 3 hits because all of them going to my hand, right? There was no crit on my opponent's side field. Well, technically, he had the Raditz unison. He could have gave something crit. But besides that, that's what I would have negated. I would have negated whatever he gave crit and then take the rest of the damage. Take everything else. Take a leader swing, unison swing. So that means I would have drew 2 cards from my life. I would have had 5 cards extra in my hand. And I would have been at 5 life, but my opponent still be at 2. And I'd be swinging with Raditz next turn. And my leader, and maybe a battle card, whatever. If I drew a battle card, like let's say I draw my 4-drop Sin Shinron, you know, negative energy explosion. Definitely would have took advantage of that, especially with Raditz in play, because then I would have done the spirit boost thing and just start spamming, right? Attack, and just, you know, I had the advantages. That's the whole point. And I have very little to no combo power in the process, right? Most of the stuff that had combo power, I warped it or I charged it as energy, just because I'm at that. I'm gonna say it, you know, I'm at that level, right? And I really, really wish this duel was freaking recorded so that we can see it in action. See me literally no combo, still at 7 life by turn 5. But oh well, life decided to screw me over by not letting me record this really epic moment that would have been cool to see in action. Me literally defending myself so much that I didn't need no combo power. Oh well, that's the end of the video, whether you believe it or not.